I got an appointment today for my client in Albuquerque. I spoke with the property manager of a pretty large apartment complex. They're looking at replacing the entire gutter system next year. So we're going to be going out on Thursday to provide a bid.
I got one for my client out in Cali today. Talked with the owner of a construction firm, said they're in talks with another actual IT consultant. Wanted to see what pricing looked like from us to compare the two. Feels like that guy's coming in a little high. So we're meeting with him next Tuesday to go over an introduction and get him a quote.
Got an appointment earlier today for my IT client in Vancouver. Called the IT director there, and they just had a change of management, so it was kind of good timing. They have about 300 end users, and we're going to be meeting with them in 2 weeks, so it should be a decent appointment.
Having a good morning so far. I got one for my IT client. It's a roofing company that we were actually calling for Arsenal, so that's pretty cool to see. Spoke with the owner over there. They use a company for managed services, a little smaller than we normally set, but I told him the price of the monthly service, so he seemed pretty okay and interested. We're going to get service list back from him and get a quote to him pretty soon, so that should be a pretty good one. Had a pretty good end of the day yesterday. Logan got one this morning, and I got a couple rescheduled as well, so not a bad morning so far.
Yeah, I was able to get one for Fargo Roofing. It's a property management company. Looking at a couple buildings that are having issues, shingles coming up, fascia, that kind of thing. So they're looking at repair estimates on those buildings, and should be a pretty solid one.
I've had some really good conversations out in Columbus, Georgia today. Should have some people emailing me back with some time, so hopefully have some good news after lunch.
We're doing pretty well. Having some good conversations. Nothing on the board for me yet. I know Ross has a good appointment.
Got an appointment today for my client out in Des Moines, a 20-user construction firm, actively looking to get away from their physical servers and migrate to the cloud, along with checking out some new software. So they're going to meet with us here in the next couple of weeks to talk a little bit more about what we do.
Logan's got something. He's on the call over there, but Ryan, what'd you get? One or two so far? I forget.
One today.
One so far?
My Virginia Beach clients. Forgot the specs of it. I had to think about it. 20,000 square foot kind of metal building with a tar coating kind of thing. So they got active issues, leaks. They might have to do a whole re-roof for it. So they have 4 other buildings that some of them had re-roofs. So I guess 1 to 2 of the buildings are still applicable for a re-roof, so it might be a long-term type business, but good appointment nonetheless.
I got one for my IT client in Kentucky. It was an association. They're in an evaluation period deciding what to do about their current company. It's 11 users. They're all in the cloud, so we got that set up. We're going out there in person next week. We're chatting with the CFO, so it should be good.
Blake had a pretty good day, finished with 3. Josh had a couple right on the hook. I have a couple warm leads I'm following up with today that could turn into an appointment. So that's looking pretty promising. Jared, what are you working on today?
Well, we just did some training on following up with clients. I had a good appointment for one the other day, and he sent me an email, but I'm going to check in with him and kind of get some more specifics there. Calling for a new client I just got, so just kind of breaking it in a little bit. So just kind of running the numbers and exposing the business, and it's all good.
Get one for Vegas today.
I'll call it Finitech.
We're doing great. We had a really good start today. I think we had the first 3 appointments of the day. I think Ben got us started. I got another one after that, and then Danny followed up, and then Mark's going to follow up later this afternoon, get us the pod wipe. I got one for my client up in New Hampshire. It's with a nonprofit. I had been talking with the executive director a few weeks back. She pointed me in the direction of somebody else, but they're going to be expanding here in the near future. Have worked with companies like ourselves, but want to get something more concrete in place when it does come time to expand. So right now they have about 12, 13 users, 2 locations, getting ready to add that 3rd. So user count should go up, but we got that Teams meeting set up for later in October. Should be a pretty productive conversation. But Ben, you want to tell us about the first one you got this morning?
It was a pretty good one for my IT guy in Wisconsin. Is with a owner of a trucking company. He uses a month-to-month service, so he's definitely interested in what we can do for him. I sold him on everything we do, so we're coming out there next Thursday to go and talk to him.
I got one for my client out in Raleigh. They currently do have an MSP, but they're not happy with them. So he was very interested in talking with local providers. Have 120 users. Talked about how they want their internet to be better, Wi-Fi switches, kind of going over different aspects of what could be better, but mostly just not happy with their MSP right now. So got our foot in the door, see what we can do with it.
I'm going to get the pod wipe this afternoon. Calling my shot in St. Louis. I'd love to get the roofing for St. Louis 0 off.
I think Christian's the only one on the board. I think he got one for his client that's out in Seattle. Should be a really good appointment for him. Not sure the details per se as far as that appointment goes, but it sounded like there was a current need. It sounded like a really good one. But I'm calling my shot in everywhere. I'm calling it everywhere. I'm going to get 6 appointments this afternoon, so probably not. Maybe 3 though.
Calling my shot in Chicago.
I'll call my shot in Philly.
So I'll call my shot. Niche medical client getting on the board. It's going to happen. But I do technically have one from yesterday afternoon. I spoke with the owner of a smaller firm. He really just wanted a quote from us, so I'm getting with my client right now. It's about 10 users. He's wanting some pricing on break, fix, block hours, as well as managed services. So we'll have that shot over later this afternoon, have that on the board.
I will be calling my shot for my roofer in Phoenix.
I'm going to get one for my MSP in Northwest Arkansas, but I did get one end of day yesterday for my MSP out in Anaheim, California. It was with the COO of I forget, there's some consulting type business, but they are actually using a guy internally right now, but they're looking to outsource since they're kind of growing, and they're actually going to be budgeting in November for things specifically for IT services. So we scheduled a call for beginning of November to have that conversation. There are about 25 to 30 users, all in the cloud, one location, so it should be a great conversation.
And we had some training this morning, which took us off the phones for a bit. Matt is not here, but he has our only appointment today. It was a 70,000 square foot warehouse for his Ohio roofing client. So they're going to go out next week, get him a quote for some repairs. Should be a pretty good one. Emma, you got a shot call for this afternoon?
Yeah, I'll call my shot for my roofer in Arkansas.
I'll take one for 403 Tech. And Teddy's on the phone pitching right now, hopefully getting his meeting for the afternoon. But yeah, that's what we got for today.
Roofing out in Jacksonville. Was a good call. He's interested. Just a little wary about the pricing and how much it costs for roofing materials and stuff like that.
What was it, owner?
Accepted on the call.
Pricing?
It talked about pricing. Yeah.
When's it set for?
Tomorrow.
Oh!
It's 11.
Cool.
That's a perfect appointment if the market's
if the market's closed, that poses challenges.
Anything from yesterday that you guys want to talk about? I think you might have talked about them all.
Our number did go up a little bit. I need to adjust our stats, so instead of 3 a day, it's 4. 4 a day, because I think both of you are at 28 a month now. Make a little adjustment there. But yeah, pacing okay. Had a little bit of a slow start first few days of this month, but I've really turned it on these last few days, so good stuff. I'm excited for this month.
To keep hitting the goals that we want, we need to try shooting for like 2 to 3 a day, but obviously, you know, there's going to be show problems where if we can just stay 50% or higher, then we'll be able to reverse engineer. I think there's probably a deal or 2 that are in there. I mean, one of them I was able to get this morning. It's a client that just wanted too much of a discount, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to rework that one out. I've got another one that trying again, talking into a market because their market's closed. You know, it makes deals kind of prolonged because people want to drive down 5-10 minutes down the street in a couple hours or do all Teams calls, and it makes it harder. That's all. But that's all I got. Let's go out. Let's have a big day. Let's get some appointments, some live transfers. I think I don't have my next meeting until about 2, so I'm going to be calling with you. That's all I got.
I'm waiting for Microsoft to contact me back. We're currently having an issue with Dalton accessing certain files that Cam's sending him. I'm guessing because of old tenant ID. So waiting for a call from Microsoft to be able to troubleshoot that. Other than that, I'm working on finishing up the old hard drive backup, getting that finished up. That way the media team has all the files that they previously had before 2023. And then continuing making guides for Microsoft events for the room scheduler.
I have done some things this morning of the operation kind.
They include, but are not limited to, reviewing past invoices to make sure that they're aligned with the invoice manager that they're overseeing. And then I also worked on setting up a new ACH for a client, and also spoke to a new client that we're onboarding this month. He had some questions, so making sure I handled those. And then this afternoon I'm going to be starting payroll early, so that way all the information is there and I can just take my sweet time later on this month when I'm busy.
I've been working on a website for one of our IT clients out of Chicago. We have a meeting on Thursday to go over it.
One of our HVAC and mechanical clients suggested adding a emergency services page for SEO purposes. He was cool with it, so I've been working on that most of the day. And then I'll be switching to some blogs this afternoon and into tomorrow.
Got out the quality control report from September and sent it to the leadership team for their review and just to go over what I found. And then I am just grading calls. I'm on pace, so I'll just keep grading them as they come in, and I'll probably do a daily recap this afternoon, I'm assuming. And then I think that's about it, besides my 10 out of 10s, of course.
Yeah, so I basically have wrapped up the second chart customization. So now I'm working on the orientation of it, of the dashboard, so you can view it mobile, vertically or horizontally, and I'm about to wrap that up. And got a little bit of testing to do overall on dashboards, but hopefully wrapping that up.
I've been working on styling changes overall in the app. I've also been looking at our database and making sure that we have backups, so our database is secure and we don't lose any data. So reporting stuff, and that's about it for me.
I got an appointment today for my roofer out in Arkansas. It's with a church that has some hail damage from a storm that they had just earlier this spring. So he's still looking to get estimates for that, so we're going to go out there next week and get them a quote.